Tonight, fatal mistake. A young construction worker removed her harness and it cost her life. Prayers for a paramedic in a coma after a head-on collision. Graffiti offensive. Tough new penalties forcing taggers to clean up their mess. And under the microscope, former teammates give evidence at the Philip Hughes inquest.
This is 10 Eyewitness News, first at 5, with Narelda Jacobs.
Good evening. It's been revealed the young German worker who fell to her death from a building site in East Perth yesterday had removed her harness just minutes earlier. WorkSafe officers returned to the site today to continue their investigation. Contracts to start the government's controversial Row 8 project will be signed by the end of the week. The Premier made the announcement today, but protesters say it's putting West Australians at financial risk, with legal action still in the courts. One of the so-called Evil 8 accused pedophiles has been refused bail after claiming excessive public attention caused him to skip his last court appearance. Claire Grantham has more.
Narelda, accused child sex offender Alfred John Impicciatore is now on his fifth lawyer in a year and a half. He claims his court appearances have been confronting and stressful, with media present and members of the public shouting at him and even assaulting him. His latest lawyer, Mara Barone, told the magistrate on his last scheduled appearance on September 9 he was so stressed and anxious he didn't turn up, instead taking himself to Royal Perth Hospital's emergency department for treatment.
Thanks, Claire. From tonight, vandals will be forced to clean up their own graffiti mess, as well as facing hefty fines and jail time. But some community groups are taking a different approach to the tough new laws, instead replacing tags with art. Time to get a preview of sport now with Tim Gossage. And Goss, the Dockers land a big name.
Yeah, they certainly do, Narelda. Freo and the Giants have done a deal with draft picks to get Cam McCarthy back to WA, and in purple, further details are on the way. Also, the softer side of Dane Swan, the retired Collingwood star, comes clean on his bad boy image. And we'll reveal which AFL superstar drained this long-range putt to claim our play of the day. Big news for Freo and plenty of other trade news on the way in sport.
Thanks, Goss. We'll see you then. Coming up in 10 Eyewitness News. No vote by Labor killed off the same-sex marriage plebiscite. And a killer's spine-chilling confession. Hear from the man who murdered a school teacher. The $200 million same-sex marriage plebiscite is dead in the water. Labor announced today it will use its numbers to block the legislation in the Senate. Michael Schultz joins us now. And Schultzy, there's been a big build-up, but is it going to happen?
The Bureau's sticking with it. Looks like 32 tomorrow, Narelda, and that would make it the warmest day since the 16th of April when we had 32.6 degrees. Warmed up a bit today, but fell short of the 27. The top temperature was 26.2 degrees at 18 minutes past 3. The overnight minimum was 8.9 at 25 minutes to 2 this morning. And the chart is showing the trough forming near the west coast, the high down near the south coast. That trough remains offshore tomorrow, so temperatures will continue to rise near the west coast right through the day. Very little sea breeze effect during the day. So look at this, we haven't seen this for so long. Sunshine for all of the major centres tomorrow around Western Australia. 23s along the south coast, up to the north we get a 28 in Kalgoorlie, and then it's 40s and high 30s through the Kimberley region. Will it be 32 at 5 to 6? I'll tell you then.
OK, thanks, Michael. See you soon. Ahead in 10 Eyewitness News. A Perth man's excuse for why he was caught with drugs in Bali. And the Royals go to great heights to promote mental health awareness. Goss is back with sport, and Goss, the Dockers seal the deal.
Yes, after sitting out last season, Narelda, Cam McCarthy will reignite his career with the Fremantle Dockers, and wait until you hear his quirky fun fact that shows he was born to play for Freo. How the deal was done, the Dockers finally land a forward for their future, and an emotional farewells as Aru officially becomes a Magpie. And a World Cup world record, just 7 seconds to get the ball in the back of the onion bag. Well, to spot everyone, after sitting out last season, Cam McCarthy will be back in AFL action with the Fremantle Dockers after a deal was sealed with the Giants. And McCarthy has revealed a stunning stat that proves he was born to play for Freo. He's the Brownlow medalist who was never shy of a party, but today retired Collingwood star Dane Swan has revealed a softer side, opening up about his drug use and why he was never going to gloss over the truth in his new book. And Oliver is confident he can claim a 5th Caulfield Cup win on Saturday. Oliver will ride English stay Exoferric in the Group 1. The international raiders were putting through their paces this morning. Appeal in the court of Switzerland has been thrown out, so that looks like it's all done and dusted now. Joe Watson almost certain to lose his Brownlow from 2012. And bad news at the World Cup qualifier in Melbourne. The Socceroos are down 1-0 to Japan in the first half.
That's not good. Thanks very much, Goss. Schultz is back with the weather next. Stripped of his Brownlow, eh?
Yes.
Very good evening to you. Everything's going to plan and the Bureau is still expecting a warm day tomorrow. The sky scan today shows the beautiful clear skies we had early in the day. Then fires were lit, prescribed burns out to the east, and the winds coming from that direction started to draw the smoke over the southern suburbs, and now it's affecting the Avon Valley and also the Hills area. Smoke alerts are out for those regions, but the smoke's expected to clear during the course of the night, according to Parks and Wildlife. 26.2 was the maximum today after an overnight minimum of 8.9. 20.5 at the moment. The wind southwesterly at 9 kilometres an hour. The barometer 1,021 and falling. Relative humidity 50%. Daytime temperatures got to 27 at Lancelin and Northam, 26 at Guildford and Gosnells. The lowest was offshore, the 20 degrees on Rottnest Island. And for the state today, 42 at Wyndham, West Roebuck and Fitzroy Crossing the highest maximum. Esperance's 16 was the lowest maximum, and the lowest last night came from the north of Esperance where it fell to -2 at Salmon Gums. Pemberton reported 0.3 of a millimetre of rain in the 24 hours up until 9 o'clock this morning, and that was the most in the state. Out on the eastern south coast or the Euclid coast, 0.2 of a millimetre at Red Rocks Point. Series of satellite photographs isn't that interesting tonight. There's next to no cloud over Western Australia, and since 9 this morning the only report's been 1.8 millimetres from Mitchell Plateau. The chart is showing the high pressure cell moving into the Bight region and the trough forming off the west coast tomorrow. Pretty windy through the Gascoyne region, and a fire weather warning has been issued for the Gascoyne where the fire danger will be severe. For us, you can see the trough's going to be lying offshore, so the heating will continue right through the day. Rainfall, as you would expect, not much is showing up when you don't have the cloud, and as a result the Bureau's forecasting fine conditions for everywhere apart from the far north and west Kimberley where there is a slight risk of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. And the fine forecast is reflected in the major centres tomorrow. All of them are expecting sunny conditions tomorrow. 23s near the south coast, 33 in Geraldton, 32 in Carnarvon, possibly a sea breeze there, but up in the Pilbara and the Kimberley, high 30s and low 40s. Around the nation, it should be sunny in Cairns, in Sydney and Alice Springs. All of the other cities are expecting some showers. Hobart's expecting a top of 11 degrees and Melbourne should struggle up to 15. Out on the waters, easterlies of 10 to 15 knots will go northeasterly in the morning and become light and variable from midday onwards. Seas around a metre, the swell between 1 to 1.5 metres, and that'll be a southwesterly. The high tide, 0.9 of a metre, 21 minutes past 6 in the morning. Low tide a little over 0.5 of a metre at 24 minutes past 2 tomorrow afternoon. Sunrise 19 to 6 and sunset at 26 minutes past 6. Sunny for Perth. We'll have east to northeasterly winds in the morning. They'll be moderate, and then those winds will ease and become light during the course of the afternoon. We're going to slip away to 14 degrees as a minimum before getting up to 32 degrees, which will be our warmest day since the 16th of April. On Thursday, it should be partly cloudy, down to 15 degrees and a top of 23. Friday, we should see a front come through, and that could produce 1 to 3 millimetres. It's also going to be windy with a top of 20 degrees, starting the weekend with the possibility of a shower and 18 degrees. But Sunday, 20 degrees, partly cloudy Narelda. Another 50-50 weekend for you.
Sounds good anyway. Thanks very much, Michael. And that's all from the Perth Newsroom for now. Thanks for your company. Good night.
Good night.
We can take...